All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to start part 2 of assignment 8, which is creating the different assembly views, the orthographic assembly and the isometric assembly. And if you look on my AutoCAD right here, you notice that I've already have my orthographics made, and then I've made my blocks. If you haven't done your block creation or remember how to make a block, you need to go watch the first video that is entitled Creating Blocks and Setting Dimension Style. And that'll show you how to create these blocks. I'm going to show you how to start assembling and how to edit these blocks for now. So the first thing I want us to do is take out all our center lines in our blocks if you've already created them and have your center lines. So what we do is come over to our block and double click. We get our editing block definition, and these are all the blocks we have on this one drawing file. I want to edit the bracket top, so I hit OK. Notice that I get a gray screen in the back. That's all right. When you bring this up, you'll probably get this menu. You can just close it. That's something more advanced than we're ever going to cover in this class. But this gray background is a way to identify when you're in a block editor. It also tells you at the top, notice the ribbons changed. You have a block editor, and it says close block editor right here. So I'm going to just click on my crosshairs, delete, 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 and then close block editor. Do you want to save? Yes. Do it again with my front view. I've already done it to my side view. Again, every time you open this block editor, this menu pops up. Just delete it. Click the center line, delete, delete, and delete. We're doing this just to help clean up the drawing because it's an assembly and we have a lot that we're going to put together. The less lines we have, the better. So I've already done that with all of my parts. I've already changed my color, which again is in the other video that I've told you about. So we have them all laid out, we have them organized. Now we can start putting these together. I don't care if you move what's already there or copy what's already there. I'm going to copy and move mine. So I'm going to copy my front view and pull it up here just to kind of keep my project organized, and you can kind of see where my stuff is going. Again, you personally can just move these and put these together wherever you want. So I'm going to turn over to my shock assembly. So this is what they call an exploded view. This is an assembly, but these are isometrics. This actually isn't what I want. Let's see. Do they give us an orthographic of it put together? I actually don't think they do. Now that I think about it, they don't. So we are going to use this to help us put it together in the most logical sense. So this is the bracket number 3. I can come down and see it in my bill of materials down here. So the next thing that should go in is my number 4, which is my spacer. So I'll come over here to my number 4. I'm copying it. Again, you could just move it, select my base point, and over here, hit escape or enter to end the command, but mine is rotated the wrong way. So I go to my modified toolbar, find rotate, click it, select object. I want to select my spacer. It still says select object. That's because I have to move on to the next step. I move on to the next step by hitting enter. Specify base point. It can be anywhere, doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick this midpoint here just to pick it. And then I can just move my mouse to rotate it, or I can type in an angle on my keyboard, whatever angle you want. It rotated it. Now I can move again. Hit enter to move on to the next step. Specify base point. Now it matters where I pick, because looking at my drawing, I know the center of my spacer lines up with the center of this hole. So I need that to actually happen. So I'm going to hit my move command. I already did. Select my object. Already did. Base point. I'm going to pick the midpoint of this line again. where am I going to put it? On the midpoint of this line, because if you drew it right, or if you drew it correctly, that should be the middle of these two hidden lines should be the middle of your entire part. If not, you'll have to draw a construction line, find the middle, and line it up. All right. Now I could do my shaft, but I'm actually going to do my U support first, because if I put my shaft in there, I'm not going to be able to find perfectly. Actually, I can. So let's do my shaft. So I'm going to copy, move it over here, rotate it again, move it again. Same thing, I want the midpoint of this line to be midpoint. It's going to fit perfectly in this hole, and it should line up with the very top of this, just like that. So I can't find the perfect. Next, now I can do my U support. So copy again. I'm just going to grab the midpoint here because it's already in the orientation I need. I don't have to rotate it. I'll put it on the midpoint. Next thing I need is the U support. So now we got to start doing this top sub assembly. So you have assemblies and you have sub assemblies once you get more complicated parts. So this part right here gets put together and then it gets inserted in here to become the full assembly. So I need copy. I'm going to need 2 of these. I'm going to hit my space bar to repeat my command. I'm doing my front view, so I need this. Actually, I need my side view. So just because it's drawn in the front view doesn't mean we're actually going to use the front view for our assembly. That. We didn't make this shaft. We didn't make that nut, so that's all we need. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate one of these to where it's pointing in. I'm going to move, and then we have to logically think, how is this going to be put together? I put here. I can't use the midpoint this time, right? Because I can see that the part is inside of that hidden line. I'm going to put it back. And just to kind of show, I don't want to do hidden. What can we do? Do depth point. I'm doing this just to kind of show you guys. All right, this is solid material. This is a hole that goes through. So if I go to move this part, and again, I try to do the midpoint of that line, I can see that this green is going into the material, and that can't happen in real life. So I'm going to move, select my object. Instead of picking the center, I'm going to pick this hidden line. So I can make these two hidden lines line up. Nope, still doesn't work because I'm still going into that material. So I'm going to undo. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try something different. You just keep trying something new. I'm going to pick this corner, the object line. That object line wants to line up with that hidden line, correct? Right? Because that goes inside. That works. Nothing goes into the material, but how far do I need it to go? Again, looking at our isometric, this part would go until this surface hits this surface, right? That's how it would logically, or that's how it would go in real life. So I'm going to go to this endpoint all the way here. Because again, that's how it works in real life. When that face hits this face, they stop. Repeat the move. Now that I know how that side works, I can do it on this side. And click. So that's my sub-assembly. I'm going to take this off because, again, I was just doing that to kind of show you how it worked. Everything lines up. Hit my move command. I'm going to move my sub-assembly into my assembly. Again, looking at my drawing, I know that the center of this hole should line up with the center here. That's what these two lines are showing. So again, I need to find the center of this hidden line. So I can't, so I'm gonna have to do a construction line from here to here. It's there. You just can't see it, but it is there. So let's try to move again. I'm gonna delete my construction line. You could just hide it. I'm just gonna delete it. It fits perfectly inside, so we're good. Again, we didn't do this part 7. We don't have that shaft. We also don't have this nut back here. We don't have the washer. We don't have this nut. So that is our assembly in our front view. And then you just do it again for the side view. All right. We want a complete assembly, front, top, and side, looking just like this. So take it one step at a time, nice and slow. And that's how you're gonna eventually get to this stage. And then when you put it on your drawing, we are not gonna put any dimensions. We're just doing front, top, and side, just like this. And we're not doing any type of scale. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, we're just doing a custom scale. So I gotta take my display lock off. So again, we have all our stuff laid out. You'd make a new viewport, zoom in on it with your mouse, but I want it to be as big as possible. So what we're gonna do is hit Z, enter. We have all these options on our zoom command. We want to zoom all. Nope, we want the zoom window. Sorry, we wanted the zoom window. All right, specify first corner. So we have to draw a window. So I'm going to try to line it up the best I can. I'm going to line it up with this orange in the very bottom of my shaft. So I clicked. That's pretty good. And I'm just making a window as small as I can. Again, it zooms in on this part. So that's our zoom. Double click out, click on my viewport one time. We right click to get to my properties. That's how I got this panel. I hit display lock and yes. All right, so that is how we do our orthographic assembly. I'm going to do another video on the isometrics, kind of review basic isometrics, how to make the block an isometric, and then we'll do the assembly again. So that's how you can get started with the next step of this project. Part 2, we've already created the orthographic block, so we're kind of skipping step 1. Again, I'm going to make another video for step 1, creating the isometric drawings. But if you remember, you can go ahead and start. So again, if you have any questions, email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So have a good day and get started on this project.